changes from both the team at the 2012 Olympics and the 2013 Oceania Championship, but an experienced and very deep Australian team.
Of course, the big difference now from London, Brendan Joyce is the coach. You can see him there. They've had a good build-up other than the loss of Cambridge, which shows the depth, I guess, of quality of their lineup that they can bring us still a really strong team here without a player like Cambridge. For Cuba, well, it kind of slightly disappeared on the international radar there for a couple of years after 2008 when they failed to get to the FIBA Olympic qualifying tournament, to the Olympics in Beijing. They played at the Olympic qualifying tournament, but here they are. They've been on quite a roll of late.
Well, they're back for their 12th tournament at the World Championship level, kind of the 17 that we've seen so far. This is their first since 2006, but as you said, back on the rise. A fantastic victory in the FIBA Americas tournament last year, in which they defeated Brazil in the semi-final and then Canada 79-71 in the final.
Ladies and gentlemen,
well, it's an exciting day here in Istanbul, and Alberto Zavala, the coach of Cuba, he's been at the helm for a long time, and we're going to have the playing of the national anthems now for both Australia and Cuba. Penny Taylor, she was the MVP of the 2006 FIBA World Championship in Brazil. Now the national anthem of Cuba. Well, we're just minutes away from tipping off here the FIBA World Championship for women in Istanbul. And anybody that knows anything about women's basketball these days realizes that Turkey is a real hotbed, both at club level and also the national team has been excellent. And there's just a great buzz about basketball in Turkey. It was the host of the 2010 FIBA World Championship. Referees for today's game from Russia, the Czech Republic, and Costa Rica. Well, you're looking live here in Istanbul. It's the FIBA World Championship for women. Cuba getting ready to take on Australia. And I guess as opening days go, Australia would seem to start as big favorites today. But they've got some big names in the roster, but they've also got a lot of debutantes.
Absolutely. Well, as you said, the late injury to Liz Cambridge has changed the lineup for this Australian team. 7 of that 12 never played in a World Championship before, and they only returned 3 players from the 2012 Olympics. You know, they do have a lot of depth in Australian women's basketball, so you know, you're talking about one of those people coming back is Penny Taylor, who through 4 events has averaged double figures in every one. She's in the starting lineup for Australia, and you know, she's joined in the backcourt by Erin Phillips, who's a WNBA player in her own right as well.
Of course, you also saw Rachel Jari, Laura Hodges, who has a more prominent role now with Cambridge out, and Mariana Tolo. As for Cuba, well, the one name that really jumps out at you is Yamara Amargo. I remember watching her several years ago, and she was already a terrific talent. She was young, and now I think she's unquestionably the player they turn to in the difficult moments.
That's right. I mean, Amargo, 18.4 points a game in the FIBA Americas. There we see the starting lineup. All 12 players returning from that championship team for Cuba. The 4 main ones to look out for. The number 9, Amargo, we already mentioned, but then Gelis, the number 7, Okindo, 14, and then Noble, the number 12 as well.
Well, Zabala has, as we said, wasn't really as visible in recent times with Cuba, but here they are back on the big stage, and we've already highlighted Amargo, and you can look at her numbers from the FIBA Americas Championship for Women. Belinda Smell has been around for all the good times for Australia, a solid pro in Europe, the WNBA, well known back in Australia. And of course, I will say, you know, she was the player that really turned things around for Australia back in 2006 when they won that world title in the semifinal, taking on Brazil. She really got hot in that pivotal third quarter of that semifinal and really gave them a launch pad for success. Of course, Penny Taylor was the MVP. They also had Lauren Jackson, but Lauren Jackson injured, not playing this year. How will Australia cope without the absences of Cambridge and Jackson? I think we're about ready to find out.
Yeah, well, that's going to be the question. The inside players of Australia, someone like Mariana Tolo, who, you know, traditionally, those of you in Europe have seen her play in the EuroLeague through the last couple of years. She has great numbers playing in the French National League as well for Bourges. You know, this is a player that averaged 12 points, right around 5 rebounds a game, but she hasn't played for Australia in a major competition.
Zabala giving some instructions here right before tip-off, about a minute and a quarter, and I went down and had a brief word with him before the game, and he was zeroing in on this game, as coaches do, but I remember watching him in Madrid. He seems to be a little bit more relaxed, but now I think he really wants to kind of seize the day and let everybody know that Cuba's back. They want to come out and really put on a show today here in Istanbul.
Well, with the format of this tournament, this is a difficult game. Both teams, you know, Australia come in as favourites. If they want to win the group, they're going to have to defeat Cuba, who are probably, you know, on paper one of the second or third ranked teams in the group. But for Cuba, great opportunity for them to come in, get a victory over an Australian team still finding its feet with the injuries and missing players.
And what's interesting is the group winners will, of the 4 groups, will advance to the quarterfinals, and the teams that finish second and third will then kind of cross over against each other in Group C and D and play each other for quarterfinal berth. So it's going to be interesting, to say the least, the group play.
Yeah, it's a fascinating tournament, really is. You know, with what comes with it, the bonus of getting first place.
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to Istanbul, the 2014 FIBA World Championship for Women. Cuba and Australia tipping it off here in the Abdia Pechi. And it's Australia winning it into the hands of the experienced guard, Erin Phillips. And you can see the defense right in your face, and just a needless turnover there for Australia.
Absolutely. Had an open player right under the ring. The pass picked off. Good defense from Cuba.
As Amargo passes out on the wing. And the penetration and the drive. And good play from Gelis to draw the foul.
The scoring is going to be done for Cuba by 3 of the 5 players on the floor. Gelis, who's just drawn that foul. Okindo as well, the number 14. Then Margot, who we talked about. They'll be the 3 scorers on the inside. They won't really have a lot of scoring, but Cepeda, great rebounder.
So the free throw is good. Erin Phillips, big name. There's his Gelis. She's a veteran. And into the lane too early for Cuba. So turns it back over to Australia, and there's Penny Taylor. Without question, one of the real superstars. You'd have to say one of the greatest players of all time for Australia. And she puts up a 3 and puts it off the side of the backboard. And quickly into transition is Cuba, and she goes up. And number 14, Oquendo, draws the foul. Well, you have to appreciate how they get it out on the break.
Oh, yeah, you said Zavala's keyed in, but what about the Cuban team? You know, the moment they get the rebound, off to the races, great kick ahead. And they're showing no fear early. You know, the Australian team had this reputation. But Cuba have proved that they come here to play. They've come to get a victory, not just take part in this one.
Well, that free throw is good. And he sees perhaps a little bit of nerves from Australia with the turnover and the tough shot.
And the body language of Cuba as well, extremely positive. Players look very focused and very confident.
There's Taylor. Of course, she missed the London Olympics after tearing her ACL while playing for Fenerbahce here in Turkey. And the good pressure defense out of the perimeter. And Taylor puts the ball on the floor, drives to the basket, and finds the ceiling.
That's what they're going to need from Penny Taylor. The Australians looking a little off number right now, but Taylor shows the quality.
Gellis over to Oquendo, up top, guarded by Taylor. Gets a little bit of space, but has the shot blocked. Ball goes out of bounds.
That shot clock was winding down. You'll see the Australians do that a lot. If you haven't got a lot of time, they'll switch every screen and just try and get their bigs, Tolo, to guard the perimeter. She did an excellent job.
Taylor gets it to Tolo. She whips it over to Jari. Jari gets it in, draws the foul. So Australia now attacking the basket.
Well, they've started to find a little bit of rhythm. You know, it's amazing how one basket can change the momentum of a game. Taylor just steadies the ship, that all-important score, and now the offense starting to look a lot more comfortable for Australia, going from one side to the other.
That was the first basket from Penny Taylor. Brendan Joyce follows in a long line, I guess, of pretty big names in Australian coaching. The coaching was out of bounds after the miss, so Rachel Torrey just converts 1 of 2, and some token full court pressure here from Australia. Make things a little bit uncomfortable for Cuba. Gellis. She had the pick from Povea. Now they bring it back out. Amargo puts up a tough shot on the baseline. And much better from Australia. And here come the Opals. A wide open layup. Missed. But I don't know how in the world Rachel Jordan missed the layup. But she was able to get the ball back and foul.
I mean, that's the only thing you can say. She did well to stay with it. Wide open. Defender fell to the floor. Australia will maintain possession.
So Cepeda picks up the foul. Cuba's second foul of the contest. Tolo over to Taylor. And Taylor just uses her body well. Well, you're not going to let me go right. I'm going to go left.
A beautiful one-on-one play. So composed. Spin and finish from her. She's got four of the 5.
And already seeing the importance of Penny Taylor is the primary offensive option for Australia. Povea puts up a long one, and good hustle from Amargo to get it back. And Gellis now up top, but Cuba not looking comfortable on offense at all right now. And moving screen is called against Cuba's Povea.
Cuba have not managed to get Amargo into the game at all. We saw her force that one. She has hardly touched the ball, and again, another possession where she didn't even get a touch. Credit to that Australian defense. They've scouted well, and they're very prepared for Cuba.
Jari for 3. Off the front of the rim and into the hands of Cuba, and quickly into transition. And you can see how Cuba really want to get some easy baskets.
And that's what they've got to do, because in the half court they don't have the the tactical ability right now to break down the Australians. But if you can get out and run, you're always going to be able to get easy shots.
Entry pass, and Cepeda puts it up and misses the gimme. Now Taylor leads the fast break, drives in, draws a foul, and it's N1.
Poor foul from Amargo. You just got to say, if Taylor's that close to the ring, you're probably not going to stop her. Let her go for two or foul her and put it to the line. You can't do both. And the second foul on Amargo could be a huge one for Cuba.
Well, after a confident start, see again the replay from Penny Taylor going up and off to a threat, really. After a confident start, Savannah's team is faded and now trailing by 5 here against the Opals. Oquendo left open from 3, and Taylor boxes out. And the ball goes over to Australia. I thought that was going to be awarded to Cuba.
I did too, but
Taylor had the box out, but Cuba was coming from behind, so she must have got her hand on that ball and knocked it out of bounds. Much better movement on offense from Australia. Tolo gets it in, puts it up. And it's good for Australia to get somebody else involved, isn't it, other than Taylor?
Yeah, now they've got their rhythm.
And Gillis's pass off her teammates' hands and out of bounds. And right now, a lot of cracks showing in that Cuban offense.
Australia have done a tremendous job defensively. So it's changed the game. They really have prepared, and every action Cuba seems to try and go to. Australians know exactly how they're going to guard it.
Taylor backs up. Cepeda, or Oquendo rather, and Oquendo collects the fouls.
Number 14 on the court is Oquendo. First person of
shooting free throws, earn the bonus for the next 5 minutes and 43 seconds.
Early in the game, you want to take things from the game if you're a coach. Positives that you can look to later. For Australia, they've done a tremendous job. They've already taken a couple of the Cuban offenses away. For Cuba, the worrying thing is you can't stop Penny Taylor. They've tried a couple of different people on her now, and already, she's on the way to a very big game. 10 points, I believe. No, 9 points already here.
Well, Brendan Joyce, you can see him there in the middle of the screen at the bottom, barking out orders. Gillis. Now Amargo. 6 on the shot clock. Amargo looks for space, hands it off to Cepeda. Cepeda passes over to Oquendo, and Oquendo's shot is no good, and going to turn it over. And Cuba have not scored for some time, and they're going to call a timeout. They haven't scored since the 9:08 mark here in the first quarter. Well, if you're Alberto Zabala, there you see 351. There's been a drought, and he needs to change things up. You can see urgency in his eyes already at the start of this FIBA World Championship for women. Whereas for Brendan Joyce, look at that, they're on a 12-0 run.
Fantastic start from Australia. I don't think they could have asked for too much more. They get Taylor going. As we said, they've got that confidence now. They can use other people. They still got a lot of experience and quality on the bench, with Belinda Snell not even coming on. But for Cuba, they have to find a way to get Amargo going. She's going to stay on the floor as she is with these 2 fouls. They've got to use the offensive ability she has.
Well, back to live action here, and the Opals looking to turn the screw here early against Cuba. Taylor into the lane. That's just a great player.
Absolutely. You know, the play's drawn up for that exact reason. Get it into the hands of Penny Taylor. Everybody else get out the way and let her go to work.
Interesting thing is that Belinda Snell hasn't even played yet, and Australia already on top 14-3. So that ensures Australia will have some experience coming off the bench. There you see the follow and the miss the rim, so the shot clock violation. So only got the backboard. No complaints there from Zavala. Maybe it may have glanced off the rim.
That's the substitution we talked about. So Taylor goes out, but what quality to have coming in. Belinda Snell, the leading returning scorer from the Oceania team, or the team that won the Oceania Championships at 11 a game.
And Leilani Mitchell also is going to come in at the next dead ball for Australia. But right now, Snell, one of the veterans. Her pass off the hands of Tolo. And now Snell is going to play defense and slow up the Cubans. Cepeda gets it back to Gellis. And the entry pass to Margot right at the free throw line. And one shot and out. Back to Aaron Phillips. Snell gets on the baseline. And Phillips brings it back out. So Australia off to a terrific start here. There's Laura Hodges. And the foul called against Cuba. Push.
Number 10 on the Povea, second personal foul.
Called on Povea.
Entered the game for Cuba. Cuba number 5,
What they called the
number 2.
They called it for having the hand just in front. Not the contact on the body, so Australia will go to the line. Team fouls, it's all going wrong for Cuba, really. Everything they try, haven't scored a field goal yet, and Margaret's had to go out now with the substitutions that have come in.
Hodges is at the line for her first free throw, and I think we talked about it earlier with Cambridge being out. Her role probably
entered the game for Australia. Number 9,
she's coming up from the bench. And Natalie Burton is coming.
Burton's one of these players that's just going to have a big role as well. Played just the one Oceania Championship, no major World or Olympic tournaments for her so far.
Defense from Cuba, and really good defense against Cuba, and the Cubans looking lost at this stage, both on the court and on the bench. I mean, it's never easy going up against the number 2 team in the FIBA ranking women. I mean, it's not like they're playing a weak opponent.
And this is a very prepared Australian team as well. You know, we watched their practice yesterday. They did an excellent job scouting, preparing, talking about the actions of Cuba, and already we've seen the actions they talked about Cuba trying to do them. Australia executing perfectly and how they want to guard it.
Entered the game for Australia.
You see some mistakes creeping into the Australian game offensively, but I guess the good news for Brendan Joyce is this team defensively looks like it's right where it needs to be right now.
Well, offensively, without Cambridge there, they may take some time to find their rhythm in this tournament, but they can always hold on to that defensive end.
Foul called.
Number 9, Natalie Burton. First personal foul. 18 turns. Australian second foul.
So she was battling for position down low. Also, Rebecca Allen has come into the game for Australia. She's a great athlete. There you see Cuba. Number 12 gets into the post, Noblet. And back outside to Casanova, and Casanova's shot off the back of the rim. Good defense this time from Cuba. Now Mitchell over to Snell. That's right where she wants to be, and drills the three-pointer.
Fantastic execution. Pick and roll play. Snell moves well. Gets the open look. the difference. Look at the way the Cubans are set up. Everything hard, everything stagnant. Haven't got that movement offensively.
Cepeda drives in and draws the foul from Tolo. And Kayla Francis is going to come into the game.
Number 14, Mariana Tolo, first personal foul in Japan, the team sports. Australia, dördüncü takım faul. Enter the game for Australia, dördüncü
three-pointer. That's kind of where Snell has earned a living in her career. I mean, she
enter the game for Cuba, dördüncü number 9, Marco.
Sees a little bit of space.
As a penalty situation.
No play.
Australia bu pilottaki takım
her entry. And a good rebound, that time from Burton. Hands it off to Mitchell. Mitchell gets into the lane, hands it off to Burton, and Burton goes up. And in many ways, it's just becoming easy now for Australia.
You can see the confidence. Mitchell pushes. They've traditionally been in the half court, but now look, they're getting out and running 2-on-1.
Yep, it's falling apart for Cuba right now. And the Opals have stormed into a 22-3 lead here with 1:20 remaining in the opening quarter.
And having called his early timeout as well, Coach Shabalo won't want to call another one.
Casanova puts up a three, and the rebound is Snell. And Australia again has numbers, and they're going to just get away, get out of jail Cuba, because they had a 4-on-2 fast break there, and the offensive foul against Australia.
Yeah, Burton tries to seal off. Look there, you see it, there's no need. Got such great numbers. I was going to say that this is again the depth of the Australians. Just have a look, no starter on the floor for them. 5 substitutions yet, the tempo, the energy, everything maintaining.
I think Korea are perceived to be the real minnows in this group. But on this evidence, Cuba are going to have to really raise their performance. Against the Asians. A long way to go in this one as well.
It's still early stages, but first quarter of the first game. You know, if you look traditionally, Cuba, even in the FIBA Americas tournament, they took a hammering from Canada in the group stages, scored just 40 points in that one before turning around and beating Canada, scoring 79 points in the final. So, maybe something will happen right on cue. Leading scorer Yamaga finally gets their first field goal of the game.
Amargo finally, and hopefully for Cuba, that'll trigger something for them. But Gabe Richards, who's only just joined the team the past week following Cambage's injury. And here's Amargo. Shows you that she does come off the screen, or she does get a little bit of space.
That's the first clean look she's had, though, because the 2 previous attempts she had were almost excuses because she hadn't taken a shot yet. So she gets the ball and almost forced the action because she had so little to do offensively. At this end, though, the pass from Mitchell, fantastic. She was way out in the backcourt, through the lob, but you've got to ask, well, where's the help side rotation? If you're throwing a lob pass from way outside the three-point line, somebody on the weak side should be ready to steal that.
Well, Gabe Richards takes advantage of Cuba getting into the lane too early. So they gave her another attempt, and she made the free throw to take it back to 23-6, and now an over and back violation. Turnovers for Cuba now clearly becoming a problem. They've got 7. So they're on pace for 28 in the game. Richards comes up top to receive it over to Snell. Now Mitchell. And Mitchell's jumper off target. Richards with the rebound, puts it up. Now, Cuba. I think they'll probably take the open shot if they get it. Amargo. And strong rebound from Pavea. She passes it outside. 3, 2, 1. Gellis has the shot blocked from Kayla Francis. Really, overall, execution-wise, not really happening for Cuba on offensive end. They trail 23-6 against Australia in the opening game of Group C of the FIBA World Championship for women.
Here we go.
Well, you see the score, Australia comfortably on top. And just really nothing happening offensively.
For Cuba, nothing working, just that one field goal, the 3 from Amargo. That really is the key to the game for Cuba. Where are they going to go? How are they going to cause problems for this Australian defense? Haven't really established anyway, inside, outside, off the dribble at all.
And he also see the 7 turnovers against Cuba. What has to be worrying for Cuba also is that 14 of those 23 points for Australia have come in the paint. And they've had some easy baskets.
Absolutely. The problem is, you try to pack the paint against a team like Australia, and then they just go to the outside. Taylor, Snell, and they can all, they've got a number of people that are happy to shoot, and we know they can make from the 3-point line. Cuba, still a long way to go in this game. A lead of this size is not anything that they couldn't come back from should they start to play, but it's the mental battle as much as anything else. They've struggled so much offensively that then their defensive intensity is starting to slip a little from what we saw in the opening, minute or two. Australia have a 17-point lead. Bring 2 WNBA players back into the game who have been sitting, for a long period. What a luxury for them.
23-6, Australia on top of Cuba here at the FIBA World Championship for women. The opening day here in Istanbul. 3 more games to follow. And right now the Opals on cruise control against Cuba, the FIBA Americas Championship winners. But good strong move inside for Cuba from Cepeda.
Cepeda is the one player, not really known for her offensive prowess, more of a rebounder defender.
And the Cuba defense forces the turnover. Australia had 4 first quarter turnovers themselves, so they've got a little bit of work to do in that department as well. And drive and good strong move from Gellis. It's the second time they've gotten to the free throw line by attacking the basket early in the quarter.
Gellis has done that. That's what she did at the start of the game. That may be the way forward for her to attack. See if she can cause problems off the dribble for the Australians.
More than anything for Cuba, it's going to have to happen on the defensive end and from a rebounding standpoint, and hopefully get some points in transition. But certainly Gellis shows she has the capacity to create a little, and the free throw is good.
Gellis is the second leading scorer returning from that FIBA Americas tournament.
And you saw the trap, and of course another turnover. So perhaps one of the vulnerabilities of this Opals team.
Well, you said they've got to do something on the defensive end, and they've done that. Changed to the 1-2-2 press, and it really surprised the Aussies there.
Gellis again, and this time Tolo knocks the ball out of bounds.
Cuba ball.
Intended for
Cuba
If I were Gellis, I think I would look to penetrate every time against her opponent, Jory. And Margot drives in and puts it up over the rim. Now quickly, Taylor brings it across midcourt, goes straight in and takes the foul. And the foul will be on Romero.
Number 8
Transition, half court. She's done a little bit of everything. It's the only way for a little bit of room, see if she can hit the outside shot. That's one thing she hasn't done. The one attempt she did take missed even the ring. For Cuba, as you said, the one thing, this is a big Australian team. They do have the ability, or they do struggle perhaps a little to guard some quicker players on the perimeter. See if that's the way forward for Cuba.
Romero brings it back, so Penny Taylor, just as she did when Australia were wobbling a little bit in the first half, and Cuba with a needless turnover. Good defense from Australia. But Cuba simply cannot be that careless with the ball. Phillips passes inside to Jari, misses the shot, and then and Jari also can't believe that she missed that shot. And you see the effort's there. Sometimes you have days where it feels like you're kind of running in place, doesn't it?
Yeah. She'll be frustrated with that one. Easy miss.
Gellis from distance, no good. Now Taylor over to Phillips. Back to Taylor. Beautiful basketball from Australia.
Taylor is having a career game here. For a player with her career, that's quite impressive.
But quickly to the other end is Cuba and Amargo.
Offense starting to pick up for Cuba then. At this end, need to make adjustments.
Pass inside, and Hodges goes up, misses, puts it back up, and scores. Cepeda was in position but couldn't bring the ball down. Now Romero back to a 29-12 stranglehold for Australia. Cepeda goes right at Tolo, passes out to Pavea, and that was nothing but twine from Pavea.
Breakdown from Australia, a rare one there. Tried to double team on the inside. Left a wide open shooter.
Jari up top. Gellis on her. Now Taylor. Her pass to Hodges. Hodges gets in and misses. Follows the miss. Back out to Jari. New shot clock. And Tolo has the shot blocked. Gets it back. Puts it up. And scores. Well, the rebounding is an issue for this Cuban team against the Australians. Certainly the teams that are on the court right now. Gellis goes baseline and draws the foul from Jari.
Again, Gellis with a good matchup against Jari. Yeah.
Number 10 on the man.
Difficult one for Jari to try and keep her in front for Cuba. Oh, sorry, for Australia at the other end. Great job of getting the inside, but the questions going forward against a team which rebounds better, plays better defense on the inside. Not even looking at today. How many first shot opportunities have Australia missed in the paint?
At the line for two.
31-14. Cuba need to get going now. And Gellis is providing a spark. Gets it back to a 16-point deficit here. Still got 6.5 minutes remaining in this first half. Of course, more worrying for them is the fact that they weren't able to rebound at the other end that last trip down.
In the game for Cuba, dominated number 14 on the man.
Gellis, who's been one of the most important players, takes a seat for Cuba. And the trap almost was uncomfortable for Australia. So a good play from Cuba, sitting back in a 2-3 zone. And Australia calling the play.
I don't know where Belinda Snell is. She'll float from corner to corner.
Taylor for three. Good! Well, that's how you bust the zone right there. A three-pointer from Penny Taylor.
Like I said, maybe you've got to try and force her to the perimeter.
Amargo quickly to the other end for Cuba. Starting having shootouts here. Snell for three. And Cuba, maybe they need to find Amargo. Maybe she's going to start heating up. Ball thrown right into the hands of Taylor. Such an easy pass. I think she was surprised and knocked it out of bounds.
Enter the game for Australia.
Anticipation from Taylor.
Number 15.
The driver's going nowhere. They're going to have to kick it out. To have answered the question, they said maybe try and force Penny Taylor to the outside, but Q hits the three. 18 points personal for her. What a first half.
Amargo into the lane. It's good. She's definitely starting to heat up a little bit. Amargo.
This is the Amargo we expected to see, the one that's going to carry the load for Cuba.
Well, she's got 10 points. The dump down low. Right now, Cuba are struggling on the interior in a big way. Kayla Francis with the and one.
Struggling on the inside. The guard play from Australia, though, absolutely fantastic. That pass, have a look at this one. Look at that.
And
Absolutely
worryingly,
no move.
that is Amargo's third foul. So their most important player goes to the bench.
Yeah, absolutely. And she's been having a great game. Gellis is going to come back. She's done a good job, but you're talking about someone who scored 10 of your 21 points having to sit out now.
Gellis. Romero puts up a three. Oh, that was a soft shot. Fist up in the air. 37-24 now, quickly to Tolo. And Cuba, again, got out of jail. They should have given up a layup. And the layup was missed by Australia.
Another opportunity at the ring. Missed. Australia, the criticism, 7 turnovers for them, and those opportunities really. They looked after the ball. If they scored at the ring, this lead should be up near 20 points.
With Romero, she just hit that 1-3. And now over to Gellis, and Gellis is off. It's an air ball, but right in the hands of Noblet. Noblet backs up her player, and Gabe Richards to put up a long one. Avila misses, but they get it back Cuba, so suddenly Australia having a hard time getting their hands on the ball.
Good intensity. Noblet just worked hard. She apologizes to the coach for the poor attempt. Just effort from her. Look at that.
The shot clock was winding down. I don't think she had a choice to.
Australia has a penalty situation. Australia will be taking
37-24. As dominant, really, as it seems for Australia, they're still only up 13 points.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's why I said the turnovers, those missed opportunities, they're the type of thing you look back on after a game. I hope it doesn't come back to hurt the Australians.
Nice play over to Avila. Avila puts it up. And number 15, Avila. Sushitel Avila. 32 years of age. She's been through the wars for Cuba, the basketball wars. And coming out, another foul. And every single time,
number 7,
for Australia, the ball ends up the jumper, and you can see the excitement over there on the Cuban bench.
That's the quality of an individual, and why it's so important in this team sport with Penny Taylor.
Nice find, Gabe Richards, but she couldn't control it. Ends up having the ball knocked away. So another opportunity for Australia goes begging. And they're allowing Cuba to get back in the game, but Gellis turns it over, trying to feed it into Avila. Sushitel Avila couldn't catch the ball. Oh, the offensive foul called against Australia.
Number 7, Penny Taylor.
And the second on Taylor.
It is Taylor. Yep.
Enters the game for Australia.
That's the only way Cuba are going to slow her down, I think. Get her on the bench. She'll go there at 18 points, 1 assist.
Tessa Levy comes in. I believe that's her first appearance in the game. She's on the ball.
I don't know if this is going to help Australia, though, because they've gone slightly smaller here, a bit quicker. That was the problem there. The lateral speed on the perimeter defensively was hurting them.
Noblet misses the short jumper. Now Mitchell. Entry pass to Gabe Richards. She gets it back, puts it up, and rewarded for the second effort.
Yeah, well, great positioning early from her. She's got to finish that first opportunity.
It's her first opportunity to play for the Opals. Avila for 3. Noblet gets the rebound away from Richards. Romero. And passes inside and Richards fouls Noble.
This inside duo of Avila and Noble. She's shown what she can do. She wants to step to the outside, shoot the ball, and Noble's done a good job, in and around the ring, offensively, not necessarily scoring so far, but offensively rebounding and causing problems. She's got 7 rebounds already in this one.
Well, I think Cepeda is the low post player that Zabala was looking to get more production from, but she was really struggling. And the experienced players, Noblet and Avila, have been more effective. Now Mitchell faces the double teams. And that trap, she passes out of it. Now Tessa Levy. Dave Richards thought about taking the shot. Levy's not going to think about it. She's going to put it up and miss. And another rebound for Cuba.
I think Cuba will take that coming out of the press. A 3 that early in a shot clock from Australia. They'll make some, but the best tactic.
Nice shifty move from Gellis, but she lost control of the ball. Now Mitchell. 3-on-2 fast break. Mitchell passes over to Rachel Jari, and Jari drills the jumper.
Oh, missed those 2 easy ones. Maybe she should have stopped and shot from the perimeter on those.
Well, Cuba have been hanging around. If they could get it down to 10, obviously by halftime they'd have to like their chances a lot more. And don't forget Margo's on the bench with 3 fouls. Good drive from Romero. She's certainly a player that has some skills on the offensive end. Casanova's going to come back in at the next dead ball for Cuba. And Toto is going to come back in for Australia. Oh, nice play from Avila. Just takes it away from Tessa Levy and puts up the layup. And you cannot, as the point guard, lose the ball that easily.
Oh, it was tremendous defense from Avila. Steps out, quick hands. Good job on the pick and roll.
They're pretty good out there with their traps, Avila and Noblet. There's Jari showing her experience just as Taylor effectively did by the penetration.
This is a lineup for Brennan Joyce as we see the replay. Cans like a guard, taking it off another guard out there. This is a lineup for Brendan Joyce. I think he's said, okay, let's see. We've got a lot of inexperience out on the floor. There's no Belinda Snell out there. There's no Penny Taylor. Let's see who's going to play for this Opals team right here out of this 5. Who can he count on later in this tournament?
Jari makes both free throws. Jari, remember, went down with the jump shot, and she makes the 2 free throws, but she comes out of the game. And looking out there at that Australia lineup, I don't see what I would call a go-to person on offense, but from the defensive end, they're going to try to pick it up. Mitchell on the ball. Romero passes to Noble. Noble gets around, and her pass to Akindo goes around. And it looks like Rebecca Allen, who's just come into the game, has taken a shot to the midsection.
She's struggling.
Well, here we go. Oh, you can see what happened. Noble, as she makes the pass, watch her left arm. Or no, it's her right arm. Her right arm just kind of glides. She glides with Allen. Allen needs to come out. It could be the same. Does she have the wind knocked out of her?
Yeah, I think so.
So timeout on the floor. Australia leading it 43-31.
A look at 12 seconds to go. Brendan Joyce calls the timeout to design the last play. See who's bringing back in. So Belinda Snell is coming in. Expect to see her coming up. Some sort of screen action off the ball. See if they can get her open or even use her as a decoy. Send somebody the other way. See if there's an opportunity to get an open look here. A basket will be big for them.
Look at the points in the paint for Australia, but a lot of those were early on, especially in transition, weren't they?
Absolutely. I mean, if you take out that first stage of the game, Cuba really through the second quarter have probably played better than Australia. It's 25-20 second quarter, and that shows you, Cuba really have got themselves back into this game, and this is why even here, last possession of the first half is very vital.
Well, important time for Cuba as well, because they've taken Avila and Noblet out of the game, and they were really spark plugs. And perhaps a quicker lineup now for Cuba, and some full court pressure with Casanova, and they were too late to trap Mitchell, but Casanova fouls Mitchell.
Number 5, Casanova. First personal foul,
so that's the 5th team foul, and that's going to put Mitchell on the line.
That's where the experience, perhaps, for the Cuban team has been missing. Foul, 5 seconds to go. As you know, Yanni Mitchell can make them from the free throw line.
Well, from the free throws, it's 12 of 15 for Australia. And she makes the second, so costly foul. You see Zabala reaching over, saying something to the referee. Casanova rushes it up, and right at the end, had the shot she wanted, but she couldn't get it. So 45-31 is the lead for Australia. I think a brief recovery from there at the end has put some breathing space between them and the Cubans.
Still positive signs for Cuba though. 25-22, they took that second period.
So, ladies and gentlemen, now here comes mascot, and basket.
45-31, Australia on top of Cuba. And as you look at the shooting, obviously Australia getting a lot of what they wanted early on, and the higher percentages, and having to wear the boards, although Cuba did a little bit better there in the second quarter.
I think the statistics are always going to be skewed. The Cuba, they only had 1 field goal at the end of the first quarter, didn't they? So, that's always going to be a problem for them. But the turnovers for Australia, I think, have been key to this game. And, really, Australia just shooting 57% from 2-point range. You'd expect that to be higher with the looks that they've had.
Taylor with the 18 points was really pretty much unstoppable for Australia.
Well, I think that is the word. It's easy to say, but you take Penny Taylor out of this game, it's been pretty even. She's been the difference between the two teams. And so for Cuba, how can they guard her? The easy matchup is Embargo, but she's now got the 3 fouls. So who else is going to try and guard Penny Taylor?
We'll come back for second half action here in Istanbul. It's Australia on top against Cuba, 45-31.
Out of bounds. 한국의 스로베르 한국의 스로 불쳐 제로백 불쳐
got one question. How'd you fit all that in your dreams? You know what to do, we got me fat, boy.
45-31, Australia on top of Cuba here in the Group C opener of the FIBA World Championship for Women in Istanbul. It hasn't been comfortable for the entire 20 minutes for Australia, of course, with Penny Taylor pouring in 18 points, a game high. That helps them immensely to kind of help them navigate through those difficult moments. Australia team that's looking to improve as the game goes on. Yamara Margot has foul trouble. She went to the bench with about 5 minutes remaining with those 3 fouls. But Cuba, a little unfortunate that at the end of the first half, they got it down to 10. But Rachel Jari hit a jumper and then a couple of free throws to restore a 14-point lead for Australia. They led by as many as 19 points. So Lloyd, I guess from Cuba's standpoint, they had enough positive things happen in that first half to give them some self-belief.
Absolutely. As we said before the break, the second quarter was a positive for them. You know, the problem is Penny Taylor, full stop. She's been the difference between the two teams, and for me, you know, Cuba, do they have the sophistication? Do they have, you know, a way of trying to stop her? Can they double team her? Can they, you know, deny her the ball? Can they really force her out of what she's comfortable doing? Because at the moment she's still in second gear and she has 18 points. She's hit a 3, she's got to the ring, she's pulled up, she's got out in transition. She's done everything really comfortably, and what you need to do is take something away from her or force her to do something, whether that's stay on the perimeter, whether that's just put it on the floor and get to the ring and you really help. You know, what can they do to change the way Penny Taylor's playing?
Well, we saw, in fact, on that very point, early on, we saw Cuba try to force her to her left, and they did, and then she just scored with ease. So she hit some jumpers.
Yeah, that's the easy thing. We can sit here and say, oh, you need to find a way to stop Penny Taylor, but at the end of the day, she's one of the best players in the world. So it's not an easy task, I know that, but you know, we're talking about the World Championships. If you want to defeat the team which is ranked number 2 in the FIBA rankings, you're going to have to do something extraordinary to do it.
I'll go so far as to say she's one of the greatest players of all time. I mean, anytime you can be the MVP of the FIBA World Championship for women, as she was back in 2006, you know that you're going to be entering some Hall of Fames most likely when your career ends.
İkinci yarı başlamadan önce her iki takımı da hep birlikte alkışlıyoruz.
Well, 45-31, the 2014 FIBA World Championship for Women game between Australia and Cuba. Australia in green here, trying to reassert or regain their authority. They were dominating early on, so what do? They go to Penny Taylor, but she shows she's human and misses a shot that she would normally make. And Amargo's come back in, but her first contribution is a turnover. Taylor has the 2 fouls. Now Hodges backs up her player and goes to the line, and that's 4 fouls on Amargo.
Huge problems for Cuba in the opening. Second defensive possession there. Did not want that to happen. Margaret's so close as well. She's got to learn she can't have that contact. She can't play defense like that when she's such a key offensive player and she's on 3 fouls at this stage of the game.
Amargo with the 3 fouls. Starts the second half, turns it over, and goes down and picks up her 4th foul. So pretty much a nightmare resumption to hostilities for Amargo in Cuba. It's up to a 17-point lead.
Australia changed the matchups. They're going to put Phillips on Gillis then, try and slow her down because Gellis always had the matchup of like the third guard from Australia, someone she could attack.
So Hodges was called for a hold there as Cepeda was trying to chase down that rebound.
Australian Vinci, take a foul.
Romero, we saw her pop a three-pointer in the first half. And Gellis over to Noblet. Out to Gellis, puts up the left-handed layup, misses. I think she had a hand on the ball from Australia. Cepeda trying to deny Hodges the ball. Romero goes in, hits the ball. The ball goes off of Hodges.
Tough call on Hodges. I think the reach came in, looked like they got her arm, but she complained, but she did get the possession. It's too stagnant from Cuba. Too much watching.
Gellis gets in, but the foul was called before the shot.
The problem is, like I said, there's a lot of people standing around, and really, until it gets in the hands of Gellis, not a lot is happening, and she's going to have to go against someone like Erin Phillips one-on-one, which is a difficult matchup.
So Hodges comes out, and Burton, who impressed in the warm-up period before this tournament, I think she really raised some eyebrows, and we were hearing, she probably did herself a lot of favors in terms of getting some more playing time. She comes in early here in the third quarter.
I thought you meant in the layup lines. I was quite impressed you had picked her out from that. But you're absolutely right. Yeah, she did play well in the warm-up to this tournament.
Now, Cuba, attack on the baseline. Romero ends up, puts up a three. Good! Well, I've seen enough. She needs to find some space and start launching some threes. Back to a 14-point deficit.
Again, the penetration from Gellis caused the problem.
Taylor gets into the lane, puts up the layup, and yet again, Penny Taylor.
That's the sophistication of the Cuban defense I'm talking about. Pelly Taylor's in a pick and roll, and she just turns the corner and gets to the ring. You have to take that away from her. Make her be a passer. Get somebody else to beat you.
Well, Romero missed badly on that one, and it leads to what should have been a fast break bucket for Australia, but the ball goes off of Tolo. And you can't see it, but the expression on the face of Brendan Joyce is one of chagrin. But here you go. Penny Taylor, what she's done so well her entire career, and especially today. She's got 20 points.
Well, the frustration from Joyce is because they've now got 11 turnovers, the same as Cuba.
Romero passes into the corner. And Gellis steps out of bounds. Good defense from Erin Phillips. Here we go. Another look, and sure enough, she stepped out. And I just wonder if, Phillips is a competent shooter herself. We really haven't seen her really assert herself. Another turnover. Australia.
Enter the game for Cuba.
The foul was called on Burton, in fact.
In the game for Australia number 12.
So in terms of turnovers, Australia now with 11 turnovers. And Burton has 3 personal fouls. Jari back into the game. Belinda Snell into the game. Gellis over in the corner. On the baseline, rather, Pindo misses. Now quickly, Jari. She's had some good moments herself today. Taylor. That was a quick shot. Okindo. Romero passes over to Provea, right at the line, and gets a lot of rim, but the ball stays out. Tolo tries to post up. She posts, and Jari's pass goes out of bounds. And I don't know if you heard the scream from Jari, the frustration, because she had Tolo in good position to score there.
Jari, it's not been a good game for her. She had those 2 easy misses. She's also turned the ball over as well on some opportunities which she would think of pretty easy.
Gillis goes right around Tolo, but good help side defense from Penny Taylor. Now the 2-on-1 break, and Snell gets the contact and draws the foul. Foul called on Romero.
Number 8, second Romero. Second personal foul, wicket Japan, and James second. Cuba second foul. At the line for 2,
Look at the help from Penny Taylor, and that's little things that Penny Taylor does that makes her, and that's happened on a couple of other occasions today as well. When it looked like Cuba were going to have a layup, and she rotated quickly and helped out. Snell makes the free throws. 52-34. Romero guarded by Phillips. Puts up a 3, Romero. And Noblet knocks it out of bounds. Well, I was impressed by Romero's first 2 attempts from 3-point range, and now she's missed badly on a couple.
She almost started to believe the hype. She made the first 2, thought she was in it for a big game. Taking a couple of questionable ones. It's the offense. You know, that 3 from Romero, their only points of this 3rd period up until now.
Noblet guarding Tolo. Offensive foul called on Jory, so her frustrations continue.
It's not like they look. It's not happy.
Is that 4 or 3?
Australia is a penalty situation. Australia
she has to come out of the game.
Enter the game for Cuba.
Kendo comes out as well for Cuba. So 3 fouls on Rachel Jari. She stays in. Casanova gets in and looked like she had an opening there, but her shot, she lacked that finishing touch. Now Taylor quickly to Jari, and Jari this time uses the glass to score.
Great motor though. She hasn't stopped going, has she? 7 points. Said she's had some frustrations, but
Gillis had a pretty good look there, but missed badly for Cuba. Now Phillips, her pass off the hands of
I'll tell you what, Australia are so lethargic with the ball as they have been at points in this game. They're going to struggle going forward in this tournament. 15 turnovers from them, and while you could say Cuba pressure.
But look at that, Cuba calling the timeout. They have no points scored for a little stretch here. It's allowed Australia to open up a 21-point lead.
The offense from Cuba has been so inconsistent in this game. We saw the problems first quarter as well. They had 6 points there, just the 1 3-point field goal. And now in the 3rd period, we're 5 minutes and 15 seconds in, and they only have 1 field goal in this one as well. Where is the offense going to come from, really? You've got to say that inside duo of Noble and Avia was the difference in the 2nd quarter. We've seen Noble, she's been battling hard, but Avia just stretches the floor a little bit when they do look to penetrate. We know that she can hit from the outside.
Big Kayla Francis back into the game, number 15. There's Noblet. She comes back in. No sign yet of Sushitel Avila. We were able to get it back to 10 points with those 2 in the 2nd quarter.
Offensive
foul called on Noblet, trying to post up Tolo.
Number 12, Klenia Noblet. 2nd personal foul, wicket Japan, and James Dorn.
Calling her
Cuba number 2, 2nd foul.
Is that press again? Used it before it worked. They dropped into the zone. Looks like they're going to do the same here.
Snell finds Taylor over there. Tolo puts it up on the baseline.
2-point basket.
Center drills it from about 9 meters. Or a few meters, rather, excuse me. I'm trying to get my metrics on my feet there. I was going to say a 10-footer. Entry pass to Noble. Ochoa, pump fake, and kind of rushes the shot. And good job by Pavea to snatch the ball and put it up and in. But quickly, Australia strikes. Taylor Francis with an easy one.
Poor rotation. You can't give up a basket like that when you've just scored on the other end. Even if they are pressing Cuba, they have to protect the ring first of all.
Casanova gets it to Ochoa. And she's denied by the Australians, but then a foul called.
Number 14 on the floor, Mariana Tolo. Second personal foul, wicket Japan.
Really, there's a mountain decline for Cuba, and Sushi Telavila is going to come in now.
Enter the
with
game for
Cepeda,
Cuba.
but they're going to take Noble out. It's a replay of that easy.
In the game for Australia,
We've seen that too many times.
Australia
Australia getting out of the break and scoring uncontested layups.
Yeah, absolutely. So now Taylor's going to go to the bench, and it has to be said, second quarter was where Penny Taylor sat a lot in the game, and that's the same period where Cuba have enjoyed their best success. So now Australia, without her on the floor, how are they going to operate? How much success will they have?
Snell for three. Good. Well, she is almost automatic.
And if they're going to give her that much room, they'll have a lot of success. Far too much time and space for Belinda Snell.
Okindo, or Gellis, penetrates. Now Snell with the rebound and pushes the ball up the floor over to Rebecca Allen, who has come back into the game after catching that blow in the first half. Kayla Francis. Nice little spin and basket from Kayla Francis, and the game just kind of getting out of hand now. Australia just lowering the boom.
They're in that comfort zone. They're pushing in transition, getting wide open looks early in the shot clock.
Gellis puts it up. Snell got a hand on it. Cepeda gets it back. Casanova and Francis with the rebound. And she decides to dribble it herself. And Rebecca Allen, a little shifty move over there, back to Francis. Polo with the rebound, back out to Mitchell. So with 1:40 to go here in the third quarter, Australia well on top, 63-37. And a foul called against Cuba.
Number 4 of the man, Francis Ochoa.
Just 6 points in the third quarter for Cuba.
To see Cuba slip into that 2-3 zone here in the half court without the trap, because no Belinda Snell's on the floor, but right now everything works for Australia. They're just running through their offenses, and Cuba are too busy chasing. They're never the aggressor. They need to change something on this defensive end to see if they can give themselves a spark offensively, see if they can get out in transition somehow.
Snell again for three. I mean, Cuba know they can't leave her open, but they're chasing the ball. And Snell is just a phenomenal talent when it comes to shooting the basketball.
Absolutely, they are chasing, so that Australia run the play. It's a flare screen for her. She knows from the moment she's coming off that if she gets it, she's shooting it. So she's in her rhythm. And when she's already made 2, it's very difficult to match up with her.
Okay, consider Australia 4 of 9 range, but she, Snell, that's the last of her 3 shots from long range. So she's 3 of 4.
At the line for 2.
And Richards has picked up a foul, so that's her second foul. Kelly's just at the line. Six points for her, 6 of 7 at the free throw line. And missed with the rebound by Cepeda. These two teams are also going to play Korea and Belarus in Group C. And another rebound goes back out to Cuba. Casanova. Avila for 3. Quickly for Australia, Mitchell. That's 30 seconds here at the third quarter. I will be very surprised if Snell gets open. Francis puts up a 3, and Rebecca Allen gets in there, gets the rebound, and puts it up and in. You can hear Brendan Joyce calling for the weak side help on defense here in the final 5 seconds. Casanova, the ball kicked by Kayla Francis with 2 seconds on the game clock.
In the game for Cuba, number 6, Anastasia Galindo.
Kick from Francis. She stepped out. She had switched. It was a mismatch on the inside.
Galindo has just come into the game. She's going to inbound it to Casanova, and Casanova has the shot blocked by Kayla Francis. So that's how the third quarter ends. And, you know, Cuba at halftime were trailing by 14, but now they are trailing 68 to 38.
So, ladies and gentlemen, one more time on the stage. Here comes BUM Dance Show. Here we go. Applause, applause.
Almost an identical quarter to the first one, really. That ended 23-6 in favour of the Australians, and this one ended 23-7 in favour of the Australians. So, looking at the statistics, still for Australia, they're dominating on the glass, but they're turning the ball over far too much with 15 turnovers. And Cuba having the problems with their own 14, but it all comes down to them for just the quality of their shooting percentages and how they can make shots and score the ball.
Thank you very much. Big applause for FIBA Dance Show.
Well, fourth quarter action underway here at the FIBA World Championship for women. Australia well in command. Their biggest lead of the game, 68-38, and a turnover right at the start. Penny Taylor, who had just 2 points in the third quarter, nevertheless has a game-high 20 for Australia. Rebecca Allen, well, she steps outside and scores the three-pointer.
Everybody getting in on the act for Australia. This is turning out to be almost a perfect game for them. Get everybody playing, everybody some confidence. Play well going into the next one.
Suchitel Avila. She's got some natural basketball moves out there. She feels comfortable putting the ball up. She just doesn't get that much playing time. Avila. We see Phillips misses from the corner, so Rebecca Allen reaches in. Couldn't quite hold on to it. Now Gellis is going to look over at Galindo. Avila's open in the corner. But Galindo is going to penetrate, put her head down, and charge.
Offensive foul, visual foul.
Defense. Phillips, that's what she does. Not a scorer. A tremendous on-ball defender. Good organizer on the offensive end as well. Look at that. Moves the feet.
In the game for Cuba, Cuba'da oynayan oyuncu number 9, 9 numara Yapana Amargo.
Well, Ochoa's going to come out, and Amargo with the 4 fouls has come back into the game. There you see Ochoa. Played a lot there in the third quarter. Now Phillips. So you think it's the perfect game for Australia because, as you said, they've been able to get a lot of minutes for a lot of players and to build some confidence.
Yeah, I mean, if you think all 12 have played for Australia, got a lot of shots for a lot of people. The only problems I can see, the turnovers, as I've talked about, and then also the first half more than the second, they missed a lot of close shots. And that's the question. We've got the inside power of Australia. We know there's no Lauren Jackson. We know there's no Liz Cambridge. So can these other players that are still good players in their own right, can they elevate themselves to that type of level?
Galindo picked up the foul, and Aaron Phillips left the game. So Lailani Mitchell comes into the game, number 5.
For zone then.
Allen for 3. And that could be very important, that point that you made about gaining confidence. See Taylor puts up a 3 and misses. And Taylor Francis gets in there. She's a snappy player.
Well, she's done well. Francis, though, she's come in, double-figure scoring out. 11 points. She's got 3 rebounds as well, so that's positive signs.
But definitely if a youngster like Allen can come in and hit a couple of jumpers, she looks like she's got a nice touch there from 3-point range. Amargo puts up a 3 and makes it.
Talking a nice touch from 3-point range. 3 from Amargo, yeah. Foul trouble really has hampered her. We were saying about Australia that this is a team. Seven of them have not played in the World Championships before. So you want them to have a good experience, have a good first game, a win against the Cuban team, which is a decent team. I don't think they're going to be the weakest in this group. They may not be the best, they might not be able to overcome Belarus, that's to be determined. But it's going to be a good win for Australia if they could just keep the momentum, keep this rhythm for the last 7 minutes.
Sushita Labila comes out, Cepeda back in. Noblet is the one on Francis. And Gallis got her hand on that ball. Now Burton with 1 on the shot clock. See Brendan Joyce over there coaching hard, even though his team's up 73-43. He knows tougher games probably await his team. He needs to get them turning on all cylinders. Gellis over to Amargo for 3. Noblet is first to the ball, but she steps out of bounds. Gabe Richards is going to come into the game.
Entering the game for Australia, Richards.
Noblet has 7 rebounds, but just 1 point.
In the game for Cuba'da oynayan oyuncu.
Morrow has 8. She's the second highest scorer. Embargo is the only double-figure player for Cuba. And really, you're going to need 3, perhaps 4 people to have big games against someone like Australia.
Well, Rebecca Allen, a nice spin move. She has definitely grown in confidence today. I mean, she just looks comfortable.
Yeah, she does. And I talked about the size of this Australian team, especially in those 2 and 3 positions. Sometimes they're almost a little too big. You think teams might look at them and say they can attack them off the dribble, but she may be a key in that area because she is quick. And she can be still that long-range athlete they like at that spot.
Noble, well, she's now got more than 1 point. She hits her first shot from the field there on the baseline. Taylor, pump fake, drives right in, misses the layup. And Cuba chasing the ball, step out of bounds.
This is why I don't understand. Penny Taylor has 20 points. She's absolutely torched the Cubans so far. She puts the ball on the floor and drives down the middle, and Cuba stayed at home on the weak side. They allowed her to get a shot at the ring rather than force her to kick and make somebody else beat them.
Well, entry pass to Gabe Richards, and Richards puts it up and draws the foul.
Number 6, autonomana, Aneslee Galito. Good personal foul, which was Japan, and team start. Cuba, the Richards,
Gabe Richards, late addition to the Opal scene with Liz Cambage's injury. And she gives them, I guess, a body coming off the bench. She's played a lot of minutes today.
She's got quality, Richards. I mean, she averages 14 a game last year in the Women's NBL League in Australia, so she does have that quality. She can shoot from the outside as well. It's just she isn't Liz Cambage is the biggest problem, really.
Romero for 3. And Cepeda with the rebound. You know what NBL stands for, don't you?
National Basketball League?
That's it. I was just wondering why you didn't say it.
He's trying to trick me. Thanks.
Romero. And entry pass, shot clock winding down to 4. 3. Romero puts up a tough runner, and Burton grabs the rebound. Now Mitchell pushes it up the floor. Jari. Her 3. Nope, that was a 2.
Look at the push from Mitchell. They pass from her 8 assists on the game, Liani Mitchell.
Now Margot and Jari brings it up, passes to Richards. Nice bounce pass to Burton, and Burton gets an and one. Fouled by Romero.
Beautiful play from Australia. The 2 bigs, the 4 and the 5. The first one's down the floor.
Number 8,
Comfortable. You see the quality of Richards. Handling, making the pass at speed.
Cuba dort into take a foul. In the game for Cuba, Cuba dort into number 10 on the man. On the team for
See, Romero has the 3 fouls. 4 minutes remaining. 81 to 45.
Cuba has a penalty situation.
So they have really been outclassed here in the second half by Australia. They just did not come out clicking in the third quarter, and that's when Australia just lowered the boom. Good hands from Richards, knocks it into the hands of Jari, who doesn't hesitate to get out on the break and puts it up, misses with the left hand. Galindo for Cuba. No look to Cepeda. And Cepeda's shot just sailed over the out of bounds, but for Australia.
In the game for Cuba, Cuba there, winning generation number 5,
Allen going to come back into the game.
Enter the game for Australia, Australia there, winning generation number 6, Rebecca.
Casanova. Cepeda. Puts up the left-handed shot. It's back to 82 to 47. And Tessa Levy checks in. So she's going to get some minutes here at the end of the game. Allen, another 3. Levy goes up for the rebound. Scrambles, is able to get it to Allen. So good hustle from Tessa Levy. And Casanova called for the hold.
Number 5, Benjamin Casanova. Second personal foul against Japan.
So Rebecca Allen,
shooting 2.
I think you know with Australia what you're going to get from Penny Taylor, what you're going to get from Gabby Richards, what you're going to get from Rachel Jari, Laura Hodges, Belinda Snell, Erin Phillips, Tolo. The question is, how much are you going to get from Allen? She's an intriguing prospect. And clearly, looking down the road, she's going to be an important player in this Opal squad.
Yeah, well, she's one of the young members, 21 years of age. First major championship for her. Never played for the senior team before. So, like you said, she's a bit of an unknown quantity at this level. Very intriguing indeed.
Scrap for the ball. And Cuba. Cuba maintained possession. So a disappointing start to the FIBA World Championship for women for Cuba. You see the scrap and (84-47). Margot just never felt comfortable in the offense in the first half, and that kind of took her out of the game. And then when she started to show a little bit of signs of life, she picked up 3 fouls.
Yeah, well, nothing has gone for Cuba. For them to beat a team like Australia, they need to play a near-perfect game. They haven't shot the ball particularly well defensively. They have had a lot of breakdowns, and they didn't get Embargo going. It's somebody they really do need to rely on.
Levy right at the line, misses. Richards though, there, and the ball ends up into the hands of Rachel Jari. Now Cepeda puts it up and up off the glass.
Cepeda, twice she's got to that left hand in this last couple of minutes. She's only got 6 points on the game.
Dave Richards. And the ball goes back to Cuba.
And that's the difference with Cambridge. That's 2 points. Goes to Richards, as good as she is. She doesn't force it. She didn't, she kicks it back out, but she just didn't have the ability to get onto that left hand, extend through, and finish with the defender still there.
Margot for 3. That's good.
It's a great stroke though, Margot. I mean, she shot over 40% at FIBA Americas last year, and you can see why.
And the turnover gives Cuba another chance. Margot puts up another 3 and drills it. And if only she'd been able to get on track. You're going to look at this game in the stats afterwards, and you're going to think, oh, well, at least the Margot had a pretty good game, 19 points, 5 of 7 from 3-point range, but sometimes the stats don't tell the whole story, do they?
Oh, absolutely not. And she has played well, but she just hasn't played, or she hasn't been on the floor really involved at crucial periods where her team needed her.
First person available in Japan and James first, Australian and winning James combined.
That's one of those threes, one of those 5 3-pointers from Margot. Margot from the right. If that had gone in.
It wasn't far off when it came out of her hand. Looked very good indeed.
I suppose from talk about getting the positive feeling for the Australians. Maybe for Margot it was important to get some shots to drop here in the second half to feel better about her World Championship.
Absolutely. I mean, when she was brought back in by Coach Zabala, there's no way she was going to kind of change the game. The game had gone. And he wanted her to get some shots, get some points, see if he could get something for her in the next game. And the question I would ask is, in the first quarter especially, not just her, but why didn't we see that from the rest of her team looking for her to try and get her a 3? The first 5-6 minutes, I don't even remember her touching the ball in the offense. And I can't believe that's all the Australian defense that kept it out of her hands.
Well, Penny Taylor doesn't have the jump shot. She's going to put the ball on the floor and drive to the basket. I mean, that's what she wants to do for the most part anyway. But with Amargo, she wants the three, but she's got to be able to create off the dribble.
And if she can't create, then the team has to find ways to use her weapon, which is her perimeter shot. So if she's not good at creating off the dribble, if she's not good at, in a one-on-one scenario, they need to run offenses. They need to understand that, somebody else has to penetrate and look for her. They have to set a lot of screens off the ball for her to try and get her open because, as we've shown, she's the only person in double figures. She has 19 points. The team only has 57, combined.
So the final 20 seconds here of the opening game, Group C, between Australia and Cuba, being played here in the Abdiapechi Arena, the famous arena in Istanbul. Margot, I think that was a shot blocked by Jari. And Amargo picks up her 5th foul. So no more three-pointer attempts from her, even though with 5.4 seconds. So she leaves with 20 points, 4 assists, 4 rebounds. Kind of a tough day at the office, though. Cuba need her to be influential, especially early on. Not when the game is already out of hand. If, like today, I think when she scored the majority of her points. And Jari goes to the line and adds to the total. So 90-57 for Australia as Cuba bring it up. And that's how it's going to finish. So a 33-point win for Australia's Opals here at the FIBA World Championship for Women over Cuba. Well, Lloyd, it doesn't make for pretty viewing for Cuban basketball fans, just 13 of 46 inside the arc. And Australia overall had better time of it on the boards. And turnovers, I guess, perhaps when Cuba turned it over early on, it really hurt them, allowed Australia to get on the top.
Australia on the back of 2 huge quarters, really, the first and the third. Broke this game, and that was enough to get the victory for them. They relied on Taylor a lot, but she has the ability to do that game in, game out. It's not that she's done anything you wouldn't expect, so superb performance from her. Job done for Australia. For Cuba, positives, especially in that second quarter and the fourth as well, but they're going to need to get better as this tournament goes on.
But the final score, 90-57, Australia. Not a perfect performance, but a convincing win.
Laura Hodges bir de serbest atış kullanacak. Rounds Australia ball hücum sırası the situation, Cuba Milyon-teki takım farklı olmuştur.
So, ladies and gentlemen, here comes our mascots on the stage. Miu and Basket. They're gonna give you some presents. So here comes on the way Miu and Basket for you. They're gonna give you some presents, bags and t-shirts.
must be nice to have a first up win.
Yeah, it's nice to get that first game under our belt, just get the nerves out and put everything we've practiced into play.
Now, the first quarter was absolutely sensational start for you guys, but the second quarter, they made real inroads.
Yeah, we knew they'd come back. They're a good team. We knew they'd come back aggressive and, they made some big shots, but we just had to stick with it, stick with our game plan. Third and fourth quarters were much better for us.
It must be nice for Brendan Joyce to be able to get his rotations and ride through the lineup as well.
Yeah, look, we've obviously had some, adversity to face, but he's dealt with it well. Everyone's confident and everyone's focused.
You haven't even got a sweat up. You got to rest a bit in that second half, but you were shooting the ball well. It must feel really nice for you personally, having not been able to step on the floor for the Opals for some time now, to just come out and start the tournament like that.
Yeah, look, it is. It's a real honour always to play for my country, but having missed the last Olympics and what I've been through, I just feel really lucky to be out here and to play with this group of girls.
Well done today, Penny. Good luck tomorrow.
Thanks very much.
Take it for granted.
You're a relieved man? First win.
I am. Let's be really honest here. This is a pretty big loss, to get over in a week. And as we spoke earlier, I felt really good because we beat France, and I think that set the tone. But then we had a letdown against China, but China played very well the next day. So, you're still a little unsure how things are going, making adjustments. But we played our game. We're a running team. We're high intensity defensively. Cuba, when we looked at tape, they've knocked off Canada, they've knocked off Brazil, they've knocked off good teams, and I've got to give credit to the girls because they really locked down how we wanted to play with our rules, and we didn't have too many breakdowns, and hence, our offense gets going, our running game got going. So, and you've got to look at Penny's, the way she led this team, coming out right off the bat, say, come with me, and just kept everything composed. It was fantastic.
How important was it to get the first up win, though? Like, even though they were touted as your most difficult opponent in this draw, but just to get the monkey off the back and get the tournament underway?
Oh, look, we know it's important. People know that I've been associated with the Boomers and, in Athens and Beijing, and we've never won the first game. So I carry that with me. Sorry, Gorge, but I carry that with me, and I know how important it is to get that first game, and we knew we were playing one of the quality teams, but we've got two to go. We've got South Korea, and we know Belarus is pretty good. So, but all we can do is, as I said, one game at a time, So we've got that one, and that's what's great.
You're on the right